Someone insults you in front of everyone. Your face remains still. Your heart rate does not spike. Your hands do not tremble. Inside, you feel nothing but cold calculation. The room watches. They wait for the explosion. They wait for the loss of control. They wait for the moment you become small. You smile instead. You nod. You walk away. Later, when they have forgotten this moment, you act. Not from rage, from strategy. They never see it coming. This is power. This is the difference between the pawn and the player. The prince understood this distinction. He observed the courts of his time. He watched men rise and fall based on their ability to master the tempest within. He noted that the ruler who shouts is the ruler who has already lost. Anger is not strength. Anger is confession. It is the admission that you have been touched. It is the signal that someone else holds the lever to your emotional machinery. When you display anger, you hand over the blueprint of your weakness. You tell your enemies exactly where to press. You tell your allies that you are not in command of yourself. The prince advised that a ruler must appear to have virtues, but he must be ready to act contrary to those virtues when necessity demands. Anger is the opposite of this discipline. Anger is the slave obeying the master. It is reaction without deliberation. It is the abandonment of the long game for the satisfaction of the moment. In the modern arena, this principle remains absolute. The executive who shouts in the boardroom has revealed his limits. He has shown where his skin is thin. He has provided a map of his vulnerabilities to everyone present. The negotiator who slams the table has lost before the contract is signed. He has communicated that his position is emotional rather than strategic. He has surrendered leverage. The lover who screams in the relationship has confessed dependency. They have demonstrated that their equilibrium requires the other person's compliance. They have made themselves hostage to behavior they cannot control. The intelligent person recognizes this dynamic. They understand that calm is not passive. It is the most aggressive posture available. It is the statement that you cannot be moved, that you cannot be provoked, that you operate on principles deeper than emotional weather. This is the first trait, strategic detachment. The prince knew that men judge by appearance. They see the surface and assume the depths. When you remain calm while others rage, you create an illusion of invulnerability. You become the mountain that the waves crash against. The waves exhaust themselves. The mountain remains. This detachment is not natural. It is cultivated. It is the recognition that your emotional energy is a finite resource. That resource must be allocated with the same precision as your financial capital. You do not spend it on insults. You do not spend it on inconveniences. You do not spend it on the petty theater of daily life. You save it for the decisive moment, the moment when anger would be useful as a tool rather than a weakness. Even then, you deploy it. You do not suffer it. You manufacture it. You perform rage to intimidate. Then you return to zero. This is the difference between the actor and the victim. The victim is consumed by the fire. The actor warms his hands and moves on. Consider the fox and the lion. The prince wrote that one must be both. The lion provides strength. The fox provides cunning. But notice, the lion does not roar when it hunts. The fox does not yelp when it stalks. Both are silent until the strike. Both understand that noise reveals position. Anger is noise. It tells everyone where you are, what you care about, how deeply you have been cut. The intelligent person maintains silence. They allow others to fill the space with their shouting. They listen, they record, they plan. While the angry man exhausts himself in the first minute, the calm man prepares for the hour. This is the second trait, calculated patience. The prince observed Fortuna. He described her as a woman who favors the bold. But boldness is not recklessness. Boldness is timing. It is the ability to wait until the moment is ripe. Anger cannot wait. Anger demands immediate satisfaction. It rushes toward resolution and usually creates the opposite. The patient man lets the angry man tire himself out. He lets him make mistakes. He lets him apologize for things he cannot take back. He lets him sign documents he has not read. He lets him burn bridges he will later need. Then, when the angry man is depleted, the patient man acts. He acts with full energy. He acts with clear intelligence. He acts while his opponent is still recovering from his own expenditure. This is why the calm man always wins in the end. He is fighting a battle of attrition against an enemy who does not know he is at war. The third trait is information dominance. Anger blinds. It narrows the vision. It focuses attention on the insult rather than the strategy. It deletes context. It removes options. The angry man sees only the enemy in front of him. He misses the enemy behind him. He misses the terrain shifting beneath his feet. He misses an opportunity disguised as setback. The calm man sees everything. His peripheral vision remains open. He notices who flinches when the shouting starts. He notices who smiles. He notices who looks away. These micro-expressions are intelligence. They reveal alliances. They reveal fears. They reveal the true shape of the room. The angry man misses all of this. He is too busy defending his ego to gather data. The calm man collects data like currency. He knows that information is the real power. He knows that the man who controls his emotions controls the exchange of information. He receives it. He does not give it away. When you are angry, you speak truths you should keep hidden. You reveal priorities you should conceal. You expose the architecture of your values. You tell everyone what you will fight for, and therefore what they can use to manipulate you. The calm man reveals nothing. He asks questions, he listens to answers, he provides no reaction that could be analyzed. He becomes a black box. His enemies cannot predict him, his allies cannot fully read him. This uncertainty creates respect. It creates caution in others. It forces them to hesitate. Hesitation is the gift you give yourself. It is the time to think, to adjust, to strike if necessary. The fourth trait is the mask of power. The prince advised that it is better to be feared than loved, but anger is not fear. Anger is weakness displayed. Fear is respect for capability. When you are angry, you are not feared. You are merely dismiked. You are seen as volatile, and volatility is not power. Volatility is instability. Instability creates opportunity for your enemies. They know that if they push again, you will break again. They can time their moves to your predictable explosions. The calm man creates a different fear. He creates the fear of the unknown, the fear of the man who does not react, the man who watches you with cold eyes while you scream, the man who takes notes while you threaten him. This man is feared because he cannot be read. He might do anything. He might forgive. He might destroy. There is no pattern. Therefore, there is no safety. The mask of perfect calm is more terrifying than any mask of rage. Rage is human. Calm, in the face of provocation, is superhuman. It suggests resources unseen. It suggests plans already in motion. It suggests that the insult you just delivered is irrelevant to outcomes already decided. This is the posture of the prince. He appears merciful when he chooses. He appears cruel when he chooses, but he never appears out of control. Control is the essence of his authority. Lose control and you lose the state. Lose control and you lose the boardroom. Lose control and you lose the relationship. The fifth trait is energy conservation. Every system has limited fuel: the body, the mind, the organization. Anger burns fuel at an unsustainable rate. It consumes glucose. It consumes cognitive resources. It consumes the attention that should be monitoring the environment.
After an angry outburst, you are depleted. You are vulnerable. You make poor decisions. You miss critical details. You say things that cannot be unsaid. The calm man paces himself. He does not accelerate for hills that do not matter. He maintains steady speed. He arrives at the destination with fuel remaining. This conservation applies to social capital as well. Every time you express anger, you spend reputation. You become the difficult one, the volatile one, the person who cannot be trusted in crisis. Eventually, people stop inviting you to the room where decisions are made, not because they hate you, because they cannot predict your contribution. The calm man accumulates social capital. He becomes the steady one, the reliable one, the person who can be trusted when the situation degrades. He is invited into the war room because he will not panic, he will not scream, he will calculate. This accumulation creates position. Position creates influence. Influence creates power. The sixth trait is unpredictability. The angry man is a simple machine. Input, insult, output, rage. He can be programmed. He can be triggered. He becomes a tool for others to use. If your enemy knows you will get angry when accused of corruption, he will accuse you of corruption at the precise moment when anger would damage you most. He controls your timing. He controls your display. He controls you. The calm man breaks this machinery. He does not react when expected. He does not defend when attacked. He does not explain when accused. He simply watches. This absence of pattern makes him dangerous. He cannot be baited into the trap. He cannot be rushed into the ambush. He moves at his own tempo. He responds on his own schedule. Sometimes he responds immediately with devastating precision. Sometimes he waits years.
The enemy never knows which it will be. This uncertainty paralyzes them. They cannot commit to a course of action because they do not know if the calm man has already countered it. They must constantly look over their shoulder. They must constantly second-guess their moves. This is psychological warfare, and the calm man wins it without firing a shot. He wins it by simply refusing to play the game on their terms. The seventh trait is temporal mastery. The angry man lives in the present moment. He is a slave to the now. He must resolve the immediate tension. He must win the immediate argument. He must have the last word in this conversation. He sacrifices the future for the present. The calm man lives in the future. He sees the current moment as already past. He sees the current insult as already forgotten. He sees the current opponent as already defeated. He is working on a timeline that extends years, decades, generations. What does one insult matter in a 20-year plan? What does one setback matter in a lifetime of accumulation? This temporal distance creates perspective. It shrinks the present crisis to its true size. It reveals that most battles do not need to be fought, because most battles do not affect the outcome of the war. The calm man skips the battles that do not matter. He loses the arguments that do not advance his position. He allows the small defeats because they prevent the large defeat of revealing his true capabilities too early. He is playing chess while others play checkers. He is thinking 10 moves ahead while others are thinking about the next jump. This is why he never gets angry. Anger is for those who have no long game. Anger is for those who need immediate validation. Anger is for those who cannot see past the horizon of their own ego. The prince understood that the state is eternal. The ruler is temporary. The ruler serves the state. He does not serve his own emotions. He makes decisions that will outlast him. He builds structures that survive his death. This requires thinking beyond the self, beyond the moment, beyond the insult. Consider the modern application. You are in a negotiation. The other side raises their voice. They question your competence. They question your heritage. They question your worth. Inside, you feel the heat.
You feel the biological urge to defend, to attack, to restore dignity through force of words. You suppress this urge. You note the heat. You set it aside. You observe that they have resorted to emotional manipulation. This means they have no logical argument remaining. You have already won. You simply need to not lose by reacting. You sit back. You steeple your fingers. You wait. You let their words hang in the air. You let the silence grow uncomfortable. You let them hear how ridiculous they sound. Then you speak, quietly.
You ask if they are finished. You ask if they would like to discuss the terms like adults, or if they prefer to continue the performance. This calm response shatters their framework. They expected rage. They prepared for rage. They have no preparation for indifference. Indifference is the ultimate weapon. It says that you do not matter enough to affect my equilibrium. It says that your opinion is weightless. It says that your attempt to wound has failed so completely that it does not even require acknowledgement. This is the power the prince wielded. He did not need to execute every enemy. Sometimes he simply ignored them. He let them scream into the void. He let them exhaust their credibility. Then, when they were hoarse and the court had turned away, he nodded to the guard. The removal was quiet. It was not preceded by shouting. It was not accompanied by threats. It was simply done. This is the model. This is the standard. Anger is the noise before defeat. Calm is the silence before victory. You must choose which sound you want associated with your name. You must choose whether you want to be remembered as the storm that passed or the mountain that remained. The cultivation of these 7 traits is not easy. It requires daily practice. It requires the recognition that you are not your emotions. You are the observer of your emotions. You are the strategist who decides which emotions to deploy and which to discard. You must meditate on your own death, not in a morbid sense, but to recognize that this moment of insult is trivial against the fact of your mortality. You must study your own patterns. Note what triggers you. Note who triggers you. Then create systems to prevent those triggers from reaching your core. Delay your responses. Sleep on every important communication. Never send the angry email. Write it, save it, read it in the morning, then delete it. Or send the calm version that actually advances your interests. You must also study the great practitioners of calm, not the monks in their mountains, but the operators in their towers. The executives who never raise their voices, but everyone obeys. The politicians who smile while they cut. The partners who remain pleasant while they dismantle. These are your teachers. Watch how they breathe. Watch where they look when provoked. Watch how they pause before speaking. Copy these behaviors until they become natural, until they become your default, not as deception, as protection, as power. Remember that the prince succeeded not because he was the strongest, not because he was the most loved, but because he was the most controlled. He mastered himself first, then he mastered others. This is the order. You cannot control the board if you cannot control your own hand. You cannot control the kingdom if you cannot control your own tongue.
Start with the small provocations. The driver who cuts you off, the barista who is rude, the colleague who interrupts. Practice your calm here. Practice your nothingness here. Build the muscle so that when the large provocation comes, when the betrayal happens, when the public humiliation occurs, you are ready. You are steel. You are ice. You are the one who watches, who calculates, who decides, who acts, or who does not act according to your will alone, not according to the push of another. This is freedom.
This is sovereignty. This is why you never get angry, not because you have no feelings, but because you have chosen power over expression, strategy over reaction, the long game over the momentary satisfaction. Be the fox, be the lion, but never be the dog that barks. Be the creature that strikes or does not strike as the situation demands, as your interest dictates, as your will decides. This is the path. Walk it.